Good evening, you're watching the 8 o'clock news. I'm Rishika Barwa. Let's get you up to speed with the top headlines we're tracking tonight. India to reach 1 billion vaccinations by the 18th or the 19th of October, say Health Ministry sources. The BJP plans a big celebration, even though the government will miss its own year-end vaccination target. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia non-committal on a timeline for Covaxin for kids, says the Drug Controller General of India is taking more opinions from experts before approving it. Aryan Khan and others will stay in jail till the 20th of October. The hearing in the case is over, but the bail order has been reserved. Aryan Khan now in the general barracks of the Arthur Road jail. Uttar Pradesh Police brings Ashish Mishra, accused of the farmer's murder, to the crime scene. Cop cars are used to recreate the events of the day. Ashish Mishra's 3-day custody ends tomorrow. The Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi is under attack from his own party. He's asked the centre to roll back its decision to extend the BSF's jurisdiction over a wider area, calls it an attack on federalism. Petrol and diesel prices are hiked for the 8th time in 10 days. In Mumbai, CNG and PNG prices have also been hiked. The Ayodhya prayers are offered in Bengaluru as diesel prices near 100 rupees a litre. CBSE announces its schedule for Class 10 and 12 exams. Date sheet to be out on the 18th of October. Results only after both term exams are completed. Term 1 from November to December 2021 and Term 2 from March to April 2022. And Prime Minister Modi wishes Dr. Manmohan Singh a speedy recovery. Rahul Gandhi visits the former Prime Minister in AIIMS, as does the Health Minister. And two men caught in a physical fight. Over what? Well, who will be the next principal of the school in Champaran, Bihar? And it is Navami today, the 4th day of the Durga Puja in Bengal, and we went pandal hopping to get you all the colour. Well, our top story tonight, the Uttar Pradesh Police attempted to recreate the horrific events that took place at Lakhimpur Kheri earlier this month when 4 protesting farmers and a journalist were killed by a convoy of 3 vehicles, one of which belonged to Union Minister Ajay Mishra's son, Ashish Mishra. The police, in fact, brought Ashish Mishra to the scene of crime along with his friend and co-accused Ankit Das. They used cop cars to recreate the events of that day. Ashish Mishra's custody ends tomorrow.
The murder-accused son of Union Minister Ajay Mishra waving to crowds from a police jeep at his village in UP's Lakhimpur days after he and his associates allegedly crushed 4 farmers and a journalist to death. Ashish Mishra and his close associate Ankit Das, both under arrest, were brought to the crime scene by the UP police as cops attempted to recreate the horrific events earlier this month. A police jeep drove fast, crushing dummies meant to represent the farmers who were run over. Ashish has denied he was at the crime scene when the murders took place, claiming he was in his father's village and stayed there all day. Another clip showed the crime scene secured with police tape, but there are questions over why the police did not secure the area immediately after the violence and allowed everyone, including the media, unfiltered access for at least 48 hours. Not just that, Ashish Mishra remained free 6 days after he was accused of murder in an FIR.
Ashish Mishra's police custody ends on Friday morning, and it remains to be seen whether the cops will go to court for an extension. With Pratik Srivastav in Lakhimpur and camera person Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Well, on to the other big story that we are in fact tracking tonight. Well, Mansukh Mandavia, the health minister of the country, has in fact spoken out on Covaxin for kids. He continues to remain non-committal on a timeline so far. The Drug Controller General of India is taking more opinions from experts. Therefore, he's come out and said that he cannot say when this vaccine will be available for children. Remember, the subject expert committee has recommended the use of Covaxin in kids between the age group of 2 to 18, but it is still pending a DCGI approval. So, India is likely to reach 1 billion vaccinations by the 18th or 19th of October, and the BJP is planning mega events to mark this occasion across the country. But while this milestone is great news for India, only 30% of our population is fully vaccinated, and at the current rate, the government is going to miss its own year-end target.
A day of accomplishment in Jammu and Kashmir. All adults have got at least one dose, 100% in all 20 districts.
हमारे सब सेंटर जो है वहाँ से पॉपुलेशन है तो वहाँ पे भी 1 लाख हो गए, 2 लाख से ऊपर हो गए हमारी सोशल जोन में। हमने 100% अचीवमेंट की है।
तो जाती तौर पे कितने वैक्सीन आपने दिए होंगे?
लगभग 50-30,000 तक।
It was a challenge. It was a big challenge because even 2 months back we were doing only, say for example in Srinagar, only 4,000 doses a day. Okay, in August.
Since 2.5 crore doses were administered on the Prime Minister's birthday on the 17th of September, there has been a slowdown in the vaccination rate from an average of 89 lakh doses to 57 lakh doses now. But the government expects to hit 1 billion doses on 18th or 19th October, and the centre and the BJP have big celebration plans. The moment the billionth dose is given will be announced in all railway stations, trains, planes, metros and ships across the country. State officials will felicitate doctors and nurses at centres that complete 100% vaccination. The government will highlight stories of frontline workers who made the milestone possible. Celebrations will be focused in poll-bound states, and local BJP offices will celebrate the day on social media by sharing photos and videos from across the country. But here is a reality check. The government will miss the target of vaccinating all adults by the year end.
भारत का वैक्सीनेशन 2021 में ही दिसंबर के पहले पूरा होगा.
At the current rate of vaccinations, 57 lakh doses a day on average, we will miss the target of vaccinating 60% of the population with both doses. The required rate of 1.43 crore doses a day is more than double the actual rate. In Delhi, this slowdown is visible at this usually full vaccination centre. 800 doses are available here every day, but only 150 to 200 have been administered for the past 2 days. The government says this is due to the festive season and that vaccinations will pick up pace after the Shahra.
The day a billion vaccinations are completed will indeed be one of celebration, but we cannot lose perspective. So far, only about 30% of the eligible population are fully vaccinated. A proportion of the total population is even lower. With a single dose, people only have about 33% protection against infection. With Nazir Masoodi in Kashmir, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
Let's also take a look at the India COVID numbers. 18,978 fresh cases. That's almost 20% higher than the caseload yesterday. 246 deaths have been reported in this time period, which is also up by close to 9%. The recovery rate in the country continues to remain the highest since March 2020 at 98.07%. India has conducted 13 lakh tests in the last 24 hours. This is down by almost 2%. And the daily positivity rate is up by 0.27%, currently at 1.46%, but continues to remain below the 3% mark for the last 45 days. Well, the other big story we're tracking tonight, the CBSE has announced its schedule for class 10 and 12 term exams. The date sheet will be released on the 18th of October. The term 1 exam will take place between November and December 2021. It will be a 90-minute objective exam. The term 2 exam will take place between March and April of 2022. This will be a subjective and objective exam. Now, the exams are going to begin at 11:30 a.m. instead of 10:30 a.m. in lieu of winters. And a 20-minute reading time will be allotted to students instead of the previous 15 minutes. The final result will only be declared after both the term exams have been completed. Now, petrol and diesel prices were hiked for the 8th time in 10 days. Here's a look at how petrol and diesel prices have shot up from last Dussehra to this Dussehra. Take a look at these numbers. In Delhi, petrol on the 1st of October 2020 was at 81.06 rupees a litre. Today, it's at 104.79 rupees a litre, up by 24%. Take a look at diesel. October the 1st, 2020, diesel was at 70.53 rupees per litre. Today, it is at 93.52 rupees a litre, up by 29%, and this has touched 100 rupees in several parts of the country. Now, today is also celebrated as Ayudha Puja, the day when many people worship items that help them to earn a living. Vehicles are cleaned and decorated on this day, but this year prayers are taking place with diesel prices inching closer to the 100 rupee mark in Bengaluru. Maya Sharma reports.
Ayudha Puja, a day where items that help someone earn a living are cleaned and worshipped. 51-year-old Kumaraswamy has been in the taxi business for 9 years now, and it has never been this hard. The diesel he needs to run his taxi costs almost 100 rupees a litre.
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ನಾವು ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ನಮಗೆ ಅವರೇ ಓನ್ ಗಾಡಿಲೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸು EMI ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Kumaraswamy's household is bearing the brunt of the rise in fuel costs. Petrol is up by 24% and diesel by 29% since last Dasara.
ಒಂದು 28-30 ಸಾವಿರ ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ 4ರಿಂದ 5 ಸಾವಿರ 6 ಸಾವಿರ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ.
Bengaluru is a massive city and fuel to commute is a significant part of household expenses. People are spending more but getting less.
It is really burning the pocket. The government should take some action and they have to reduce the prices. Otherwise, it is considering very much a problem for everybody.
The government should consider reducing it because it's becoming very difficult to commute, and because of the rise in prices, the vegetable, it's having a domino effect on the market.
The seemingly endless hikes in the price of fuel has hit everybody hard, but particularly those whose income depends directly on what the price of petrol is, what the price of diesel is. Which is why even at the time of a festival, the thought of so many people is, what will the price be tomorrow? With Nandakumar, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Now, Shah Rukh Khan's son, Aryan Khan, has not been given any relief in the drugs case. The judge today reserved his decision, and the next hearing in the case will take place on the 20th of October. There will be a holiday of the Mumbai Sessions Court from the 15th to the 19th of October. And since the order has been reserved, Aryan Khan's counsel cannot appeal in a higher court for his bail. So Aryan Khan and others are going to spend the next 6 days in jail at the Arthur Road jail.
Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan will have to stay in jail for 6 more days even though the bail hearing is over. The judge says he'll pronounce the order on 20th October. Aryan Khan's lawyer appealed for bail with conditions, reiterated that drugs were not found on his client. Nor did he buy or sell drugs, so there should be no further delay in granting bail. He is jailed on suspicion of conspiracy. He argued that Aryan is cooperating with the investigators. Aryan's lawyer Amit Desai asked, "Do you think this boy will be involved in international drug trafficking?" Aryan's lawyer said there are no messages and chats related to the drug rave party. Aryan was abroad for a long time. Sometimes a lot of things are legal in those countries. However, the centre's lawyer arguing for the anti-drugs agency NCB argued against the bail. NCB said that all of them are interconnected and they all are part of the investigation. They said that the arrest was on the basis of solid evidence.
Speaking in the court, NCB lawyers said that all the arrests in this case have been done based on solid evidence, and this all is part of a conspiracy.
The other accused, Arbaz and Munmun, will also remain in jail.
जहाँ तक बेल एप्लीकेशन की मुनमुन धमेचा की बात है, मैंने स्पेसिफिकली बेल एप्लीकेशन में एक प्रेयर रखा था. वो प्रेयर ये था कि मेरा केस जो है बाकी सारे आरोपियों से अलग सुना जाए. उसका रीज़न ही यही है कि एनसीबी शुरू से ये ट्राई प्रूव करना चाह रही है कि सबका नेक्सस है, कनेक्शन है. जितने भी आरोपी अरेस्ट हुए, आरोपी नंबर 1 से लेकर 20 तक, वो सबका कनेक्शन प्रूव करना चाह रही है. लेकिन अभी तक मुनमुन धमेचा का कोई भी कनेक्शन या लिंक कोई भी आरोपी से जोड़ नहीं पाई है एनसीबी. ये मेरा कोर्ट में यही सबमिशन है.
द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट और जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण बात थी वो ये थी कि अगर वो व्हाट्सएप चैट्स के बारे में कह रहे हैं तो वो व्हाट्सएप चैट्स को देखने के लिए उन्होंने फ़ोन का सीजर का बारे में उन्होंने पंचनामा में कुछ कहा ही नहीं है, जिसके कारण वो पूरा सीजर, इनको फ़ोन कैसे मिला वगैरह पूरा वो क्वेश्चन मार्क आ जाता है, और उसी प्रकार से व्हाट्सएप चैट्स भी पूरे क्वेश्चन मार्क आ जाता है.
The sad news for Shah Rukh Khan, Gauri Khan, the family of Aryan Khan. He was arrested on the 2nd of October. He will be in custody till the 20th of October. Since 8th of October, he has been at Arthur Road Jail and he will continue to be there because the order on his bail is reserved. His isolation is over. He will be with other people in a cell now. So there's Dussehra and there's Eid, and Aryan Khan won't be spending time with his family. Through this, we'll keep a close watch on this case. In Mumbai, Rohit Khilnani for NDTV.
Now, ahead of the elections in Punjab, the Home Ministry has issued a notification extending the jurisdiction of the BSF from 15 kilometres to 50 kilometres in Punjab and other border states. Now, this has set off a political storm in Punjab with Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi coming under attack from his own party colleagues who say that he's unwittingly handed over more than 50% of Punjab to the centre. Now, Charanjit Singh Channi today reacted. He's called this an attack on federalism.
The Akali Dal, Punjab's opposition party, hits the streets against the centre's new rules, giving the BSF greater footprint in Punjab.
आधा पंजाब आज तक अब फ्लाइंग क्रो फ्लाइंग इडियट देख लो सो आधे पंजाब में अगर सेंटर का रूल रहेगा लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का पुलिस का सारा कुछ होगा तो फिर ये क्या हो रहा है.
The order has triggered a fresh headache for Punjab's new Chief Minister. Though Mr. Channi has opposed the move, saying it is a backdoor way of extending the centre's powers inside Punjab, the former Chief Minister Amrinder Singh defended the move, saying it will help fight the drug menace. Another Congress leader, Sunil Jakhar, referred to Mr. Channi's meeting with the Home Minister recently, where the Punjab Chief Minister had asked for greater border controls to fight the drug menace. Mr. Jakhar suggesting that Mr. Channi may have given away control of nearly half of Punjab's land area. Mr. Channi, who had gone to meet Amrinder Singh to seek blessings for his son and daughter-in-law, refused to speak to the media. But ministers in the Punjab government said Mr. Channi never asked for enhanced jurisdiction to the BSF.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 50 ਕਿਲੋਮੀਟਰ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਖਲਅੰਦਾਜ਼ੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਬਰਦਾਸ਼ਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ. ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਹੋਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੂੰਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੀਕਨਸੀਡਰ ਕਰਨ.
Others have also called out the stand taken by Amrinder Singh, saying 5 years ago he had accused BSF of drug trafficking.
ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੈਕਸਸ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਾਰਡਰਾਂ ਤੇ BSF ਦੀ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੋੜਨ ਲਈ.
Under the new rules, BSF's jurisdiction increases from 15 kilometers to 50 kilometers inside the international border along Punjab, which many say will give the BSF powers to make arrests and carry out raids deep inside mainland Punjab. But BSF officials said they will only have limited powers.
One is the CRPC, the other is the Passport, Entry into India Act, the third is the Passport Act. Only with respect to these three acts, the territorial jurisdiction of BSF has been increased.
Punjab has seen drug smuggling and arms smuggling even through drones over the years, and many BSF personnel have also been booked and arrested by Punjab Police and other agencies for involving or their indulgence in drug trafficking. So the bigger question remains that will enhancing BSF's jurisdiction in Punjab really able to check drug and arms supply? In Chandigarh, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
And well, let's get you the story from Bihar that's making the headlines today. Visuals of two men fighting with each other have gone viral. Who are these two men? Well, they are teachers at a school and they are fighting with each other on who is going to be the next principal. This is a story coming in from Champaran in Bihar. And well, today is Navami, the fourth day of Durga Puja in Bengal. Pujas are no longer just about worship and the goddess. In fact, this time of the year, at least in Kolkata, it's been a display of exhibition of art, the world's biggest display of exhibition of art. Manideepa went pandal hopping and sent us this report.
Kolkata has turned into a canvas for the arts. Goddess Durga, the centerpiece. Here the artist built and then demolished his own work to reach the goddess within. At Borisha, the refugee Ma Durga stole hearts and broke them with her story. And here, role reversal, the goddess saluting man, COVID warriors for healing the world. For this art historian, it is public art at its best.
I think Durga Puja became the city's biggest public art event now for more than almost 2 decades now. The fact that this wonderful public art happens here during the 5 days of the festival is not something that even the rest of India knows that much about.
But Kolkata's pandal hoppers are now also art aficionados.
এবং প্রতিমাটাও অসাধারণ সুন্দর সত্যিই তাই এখন একটা আর্ট
look is disastrous but the god is still there in its own image and brings hope that sometime or other it will be okay. We would come out from this disastrous affairs.
Durga Puja is about worship, of course, but the festival is now a much broader canvas where all are invited to add a dash of color of their own. With G.D. Shankar, Monideepa Banerjee, NDTV.